The only sound echoing through the empty restaurant was the muffled clunk of his steel-toed boots on the tiles. He walked quietly past the filthy deep-fat fryer and toward the back of the kitchen. Then he rounded the corner and came to a complete stop. When he noticed the 8-inch hole, he called for help. We'll find out her entire story at the end of the video, but first, like and share it with others. And make sure you're subscribed and have the notifications bell turned on. It all started when HSI Special Agent Scott Brown assigned him to lead a raid on a KFC restaurant in Arizona. Brown had received an anonymous tip that led him to believe the fast food chain was concealing more than their trademarked 11 secret herbs and spices. It is common knowledge that the fried chicken chain KFC is second only to McDonald's in terms of fast food sales. But one franchise in San Luis, Arizona, piqued Homeland Security's interest. Locals in San Luis recall being able to buy a bucket of fried chicken just 200 yards from the Mexican border. However, the KFC mysteriously closed its doors to the public. It had been empty for years, but there were always a few cars parked outside. Months late at night, after KFC closed its doors, lights began to turn on inside the building. Locals heard drilling and assumed the restaurant was being renovated. The building, however, remained closed. Some people had heard that the KFC had been purchased by a corporate behemoth, while others had heard through the grapevine that it had been purchased by a wealthy local. HSI Special Agent Scott Brown's personal cell phone rang late one evening. Brown considered sending the call to voicemail because of the late hour, but then a strange feeling overcame him. Immigration and Customs Enforcement requested a search warrant for the defunct KFC restaurant. Officer John Irwin was dispatched to lead the team of ICE agents when it was granted. Officer John Irwin shone a flashlight into the pitch-black shaft and was taken aback to see hundreds of wooden planks lining the walls. The tunnel was 3 feet wide and 5 feet tall, with enough room inside for a man. The officers accompanied him while he walked quietly along the tunnel and hoping that no armed guards awaited them on the other side. The silence was abruptly broken by the sound of footsteps running in the opposite direction. Officer Irwin realized in an instant that the tunnel was positioned to go under the Mexican border. They arrived at the end of the 600-yard-long passage to a ladder that led to a trap door in the ceiling. Officer Irwin cautiously peered out after swiftly breaking through the trapdoor, so they'd have to climb out. However, when they did, they'd ended up under a bed in a Mexican house. Officer Irwin then noticed the long rope near the trapdoor's entrance. The officers heard footsteps echoing through the tunnel and noticed a dim light from a flashlight, and a man practically walked right into them. When he reached the top of the ladder and found himself surrounded by ICE agents, he was carrying a suitcase. Just weeks before the tunnel's discovery, a man had been pulled over by Border Patrol for a routine traffic stop, and the man's license and plates appeared to be valid. The officers were about to release the man when their service dog took one sniff at his trailer and went ballistic. Officers searched the trailer and discovered 2 toolboxes that contained illegal substances, according to a closer inspection. Ivan Lopez, the suspect, was apprehended right away. However, digging deeper into the man's past revealed an operation that no one had predicted. Following Lopez's arrest, HSI Special Agent Scott Brown received a disturbing phone call from an unidentified resident who gave him reason to believe they were only scratching the surface of Lopez's crimes. Brown dug a little deeper and discovered that it was Lopez who had purchased the old KFC for $390,000 in cash. Officials realized that the purpose of this audacious under-border tunnel was to allow Lopez and his cohorts to smuggle contraband into the United States from Mexico. Indeed, narcotics worth around $1 million were found in Lopez's confiscated toolboxes. Because of the tunnel's size, officials believed the people involved in the trafficking would climb down through the trapdoor in the Mexican home and walk the 600-yard passageway until they were directly underneath the old KFC building. They would then deposit the illegal substances before being lifted out with a rope. Tunnels have definitely increased since border security measures have been ramped up, said HSI Special Agent Scott Brown in a statement. Authorities believe Lopez is a key figure in the Mexican cartel. He is currently incarcerated without bail while awaiting criminal charges. According to Brown, all of the substances discovered were hard narcotics. He thinks that's what makes this tunnel a little unique and a little scarier than others. Generally, every couple of months, they come across an unfinished tunnel along the southwest border, and the KFC tunnel was the longest cartel tunnel. In 2016, agents discovered a nearly half-mile-long tunnel in San Diego, California, leading to Tijuana, Mexico. A case from 2012 discovered a passageway connecting Arizona City to San Luis Rio, Colorado in Mexico. Nonetheless, the tunnel of the abandoned fast food restaurant is a notable addition to the long list of incidents.